Please don't tell me the truth.
What does your mug say?
It says, first I drink the coffee, then I do the things.
Mine says, good morning, gorgeous.
Oh, thank you very much.
So we've been talking. ¿Qué ha pasado since we met on Wednesday?
Bueno, muchas cosas han pasado. Media semana de trabajo un poco lenta, un poco buena, ya retomando. Y volví al gimnasio. No me puedo sentar ni parar sin sentir dolor en todas mis extremidades, pero está bien. ¿Y tú?
I think it's been like a challenging week. I think I told you, like, it's been like a really challenging week, but I think I managed to regulate myself and I managed to like stop. Like when the stimuli came, I managed to like stop and then pause and kind of like catch myself in the tendency and then not act on it. And then being able to respond from a place of choice. Because like that's what I've been focusing on. You know what I mean? What about you? I think you're a person that can regulate yourself very well.
Oh, wow. Probably that's the facade.
Okay.
Trying
So what was
to do that for years.
Yeah. So, okay. This is a new segment that we're exploring. And I think we should tell people how it was born and why we want to open the doors of this experience that you and I have been having for years now on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, this is pretty much what is happening. It's not like this is a new thing. We've been doing this for what? How many years now?
I said 3+ years in the story.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it started as like, let's have a weekly call and check in and just see how our lives are going. We were both living in the States back then. Now I'm a little bit further away, but that's how it started. And then it became a ritual for us. We set up a day, a week. Saturdays, it became. Saturday mornings, it worked for us. We would grab some coffee and then talk about our week and everything that happened in our week. And it was amazing. It was a grounding ritual for us. It was something that I would look forward every week, look forward to. And yeah, became part of my day, right? Saturday calls, it became a thing. And whenever we couldn't do it, we would let each other down. So right now we're just, as you said, opening the door to the rest of you to listen a little bit of what we've been talking for the past 3 years.
I think that was the best introduction that I've ever had in the podcast. So thank you for that. You know what I was also realizing when I heard you speak? This was bound to happen because whenever we couldn't, make it to the call, we would send each other a huge voice note. And then we started calling it a podcast. Remember? It's like, oh my God, I cannot make it to the call today, but I'll send you a mini podcast. Isn't that funny?
And then we would send like the emoji or the sticker of like, upload it to Spotify.
Exactly. This was bound to happen. So yeah, this is the Saturday call. What we want to do here is pretty much talk a little bit, because please don't tell me the truth. It's a little bit of everything, right? So it's about relationships. It's about mindfulness. It's also, I kind of sometimes touch on some social commentary. For example, what's happening with Bad Bunny. That's how this season opened. But here, because Gladys is my favorite human, she's my best friend, and she's also a PhD. I'll let you say that because it's really long, so I don't want to butcher it. I'll just say that she became a doctor in LA. That is all I'm going to say. That's all I'm allowed to say. So, yeah. Can you, please help me introduce you correctly?
Education-wise, because I think there's a longer introduction, like in general life terms. So I'm a PhD in political science. That's all it is.
You make me look bad. It was like, no, what about the conflict resolution side of things?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
So I'm currently working as a postdoctoral fellow in the field of conflict resolution. So basically my research is related to peace and war and conflict resolution more specifically. I study how women actually foster conflict resolution dynamics in civil society. So that's basically my focus. But short story, I'm a PhD in political science.
So yes, it was long. Thank you. And that's exactly what I want to explore in this new capsule, because we're both women. And, when you hosted the Q&A for Lemon Vinegar, right, the movie was also about two women. So I think that's going to be the common thread. And you guys know me. I'm Dalma. I'm an artist. I'm a content producer, multi-hyphenate. I would say human. And I am very passionate about feminism. I'm very passionate about self-improvement. And I'm very passionate about pretty much building yourself and building your own persona and showing up and building your better version. I think that I've been doing that for the past 5 years, and I think this whole idea of building yourself, I feel that we all do it, especially when we're entering a new year.
Mhm.
And therefore,
Our topic.
exactly, right? It's New Year's resolutions.
And something that I would like to say also, like as I heard you speak, and I think this is something that we both agree on, is the fact that it's a never ending process, that building yourself part. So here, I mean, we're going to reflect on New Year's resolutions, what it entails, like on a personal term, but also kind of like a societal term. But keep in mind, we're not telling you you have to get your resolutions together, right? I mean, it is a fact, at least that's the way we see it. It is a continuous process of
Yeah.
building yourself. This doesn't end this year, and it's never going to end. Like,
100%. Thank you for saying that. But we're also going to touch on people that are anti-resolutions, which is totally like it's okay to be that way. You know what I'm saying?
should I call you Don? It's better to call you Don. I've always called you Don.
Whatever you want to call
This is ridiculous.
it. I've known you for, my God, how long have we?
Oh my God. Okay, that is a question that I haven't answered in a long time. Not even question myself that.
I-
On each other for 29 years.
oh my God. Let that sink in. Oye, que guys, me he conocido toda la vida. What the fuck?
You're proud of it. I get that. I love
That
that.
had to be said in Spanish. Sorry.
It's huge. It's huge.
Like, technically, I've lived more with you than without you.
I feel like a 3-decade celebration,
We have to. We should do Vegas again. That was a good trip,
It was such a good trip.
except for you missing the Magic Mike show.
So sorry. Believe me, it wasn't intentional.
I mean, it was such a great time. I was just there alone. I still remember when they're like, they come to you and it's like, stand up. And I'm like, sure. Like, okay, we'll do it together. That will be the 30th anniversary.
Be like anywhere else. This has to be another podcast, right? I mean, with
Magic Mike? Yeah.
getting sick.
I'm just kidding.
You're not kidding. Okay. So something we've been trying to do, again, never ending process. It's try to be mindful about what we do and about our habits. So one way to start the conversation that we actually tend to start it like this is, what did you do this morning, right? How was your morning? What did you do? What was your ritual to ground yourself for a little bit? I have to say that I found myself a new ritual. Not so new. I've been practicing for, I would say, like 2 years, but it was never a morning ritual, and it's yoga. So I recently moved into a new city. I said, like, spoiler alert, this was one of my New Year resolutions. I'm going to join a yoga studio. And I found an amazing one, walking distance from my apartment. And this is my second class. So that's what I did this morning to ground myself. I practiced an hour and 45 minutes of yoga and meditation. I did the coffee after doing the things. So, yes.
Wait, so you went and did yoga without coffee?
You have to do what you have to do sometimes in life,
Okay. That's brave.
I just took a little smoothie, like half a banana,
Oh,
and
okay.
real milk, some hydration, and then went to the yoga class. Because I feel like if I do this right after I wake up, this is Andrew Huberman's kind of like lifestyle thing. It crushes me like 2 hours in my day. I don't need
And
that. Right. So
and speaking of which, actually, I love coffee. We love coffee. We're Colombian. There's no other way to be Colombian without loving coffee. Like, I think that a lot of Americans don't know this, but if you're Colombian, you probably have been drinking coffee since you were 6 years old. I mean, that is the truth, right? It's normal. But I will say that I hear you because, like, I do crash with coffee as well. Like, coffee is more of a ritual for us, I would say. So the whole crashing situation, because I usually drink 3 coffees a day, you know, I really feel that I need that third one. But deep down, I'm like, I'm gonna be so jittery after this third coffee, but I have to do it because it's a ritual. So I started testing. I like mushroom coffee. I've done it before. I've done it in the past when I was an English teacher, actually like 12 years ago and everything. I remember one of my students had like functional mushroom coffee and he was like, "Oh, you want to try some?" And I loved it. I was so hooked. That was my favorite part of our class, like just drinking that coffee. And I found one. It's called Mud Water. They were kind enough to send me this, and I really like it. I actually really like it. Not just saying that they asked for a really honest review, and I'm drinking it right now. You know, so what I'm doing is that third cup of coffee, I'm switching it for functional mushroom coffee, and it's been amazing. And this one has Arabica coffee too, so it does have some caffeine, but it has 45% of the caffeine that you would regularly find in a cup of coffee,
right.
which is
So,
great.
yeah.
You do not crash. You don't crash. And that's what I love the most about mushroom coffee. And then this third cup of coffee, I take it to the gym.
Oh,
So it's awesome because like I'm awake. It's got cordyceps, which is great for your brain, focus. Lion's mane, which makes you chill. And God knows I need that. And then we got reishi, chaga, and L-theanine, which is also great for fat burning and focus. So this is great. I really recommend it. I'm gonna leave the link below if you guys want to check it out. But this is great. Oh, it's got 0 sugar and 1 tablespoon is just 20 calories. So
perfect.
just saying. Okay, cool. So what I did today, so check it out. I was thinking about something, because I knew we were gonna film the podcast, I knew that I wasn't gonna have like a lot of time. I did do what I usually do in the morning, which is journaling. And today I did like a mini version of that because I usually go to the balcony, I journal, I read, and then I meditate and do breath work. So it's kind of like 1 hour circle. Today was like 15 minutes only. And then I read the thing that I showed you, remember? What I'm reading every morning. Have you been reading that?
Yes,
Isn't it the best?
it is. It is amazing. I love
It's like
it.
receiving energy. So you wanna so just to like I would love for you to like tell like people what we're talking about. But yes, what I was gonna tell you today is that I started writing like just 3 things. I usually do 5 or 7, but today I wrote 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I felt so I was really feeling like super grateful this morning. And after I read this, the whole affirmation stuff, I've been crying every morning for like the past like the past month, I would say. But not like back tears, like it's like 90-10. Like 90% of the time it's more like me being like either
Most
so grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah, either so grateful or like not believing. I don't want to say not believing because I want to believe in what's happening and the good things that are happening. Or maybe it's just like a realization that I have and that it hits me. So today I was like, okay, we're not crying today because we're filming a podcast and we don't want to look puffy. But like I feel that I held myself and I was like, okay, but it's okay. I understand how we're feeling. It's good. We're good. Moving on. That's what I did this morning.
It sounds, I mean, like a very healthy habit, right? Just being able to cry in that way, recognize that you need to cry, give yourself some space to do that. And whenever you feel like you cannot do it, it's like, okay, we'll do it later. But,
Yeah. It's literally what I said. We'll do it in 4 hours. It's okay. Like It's a regulation mechanism. You know that, right? That's what crying is.
Yeah, it is. I feel like I like to cry. I am a weeper usually, but like, you know, movies or songs that remind me of things.
Do you know that that's a sign of emotional intelligence and that you're really good processing your emotions? Look it up.
I will do my research.
Cool. All right. So getting into the topic of New Year's resolutions, Gladys is going to be our DJ today.
So one thing that we were thinking is how we're entering this year, right? I feel like we're in January still. It's been a long month. We still have some days to enjoy January. Usually what happens is that you start thinking right at the end of December what you want to do differently, right? I mean, that tends to be some of the things that you do. Like, okay, what do I want to do differently next year? Am I going to wake up earlier? Am I going to work out? Like, all these things that apparently everybody does. At least I can see that in my gym because everybody's in the gym right now.
Mm.
And then you start the year, or you believe you start the year, 1st of January, behaving differently, which you don't. And then you slowly start getting into the mood. And then end of January is here and you're questioning your life choices. So, one word for how you're entering the year. How are we doing it, right? What is it? How are we starting this year in one word? If you have to pick one, it could be an adjective, it could be a verb, like an actual action.
Hmm.
It could be anything.
My word is regulation.
Okay.
That's how I'm entering the year because you just said it. We think about how we can do things differently, wanting to do things differently is a commitment. It's a commitment. It's going to take effort because it's about change. And change is difficult because change involves leaving a comfort zone that you've been in for God knows how long. And I think that the way that we react, I would dare to say, is the biggest, most underrated comfort zone that we have.
Yeah.
Because we don't realize what we're doing most of the time. You know what I mean? It's a 95-5 equation when it comes to like your conscious and subconscious mind,
Absolutely.
So that is the word that I'm entering the year with because I realized that I really have to. So here's this thing. And this is like, I wrote 6 New Year's resolutions. And I would say that the common thread is, and I read this and I loved it. When it comes to change and when it comes to resolutions and things and your goals and the things that you want to accomplish, blah, blah, blah. So your nervous system is the one that gives you the capacity to accept all those things that you want. For example, if you want a new job, that means that you're going to have to put yourself out there. That means that you're going to have to talk to a lot of people. That means that you're going to have to probably edit your resume every freaking day, potentially for every job offer that you want to apply for. So if your nervous system, it's like, oh, like you're not used to that and you're anxious all the time, it's kind of like your body's not gonna, this is new, right? So your body's not gonna allow you to receive this new experience because it's kind of like you're not ready for it. You're not signaling, hey, we have the bandwidth to accept new experiences and I feel safe accepting these new experiences. That's what regulating your nervous system does,
Absolutely.
because it prompts you and it allows you to not self-sabotage. And like, I struggle with self-sabotage, especially in the subconscious mind, because like I don't notice it. And the thing about what happens to me, and one of the things that I'm like really, really focusing on is when something good happens to me, I don't internalize it. I don't. My system is like, okay, but even if I wanted it, like, can you believe that? Even if I wanted it, it happens. And then I'm like, oh, nice. Okay, moving on.
Nice.
What's next? So one of the things that I like about the affirmation that we do every morning is one of them is, I know that I can be satisfied because this moment is enough. Like, I know I can be satisfied because it's already happened and it's done. So that has really helped me regulate too. It's like, oh, it's okay to be satisfied. It's okay to receive. It's okay to internalize
Yeah.
the good things the same way we internalize the shitty things. So that's my word.
Same.
Regulate.
Like actually internalize the good things and don't let the shitty things so deep into your system. As easy as that, right? I mean, again, easy saying. I 100% agree with you. And I think I have a similar word. Now I like your word better. My word is calm. And
Love it.
it comes from kind of like two sides. There's a personal side that said, I should do this year for myself. But there's also an outside scope that I'm reflecting from this. And this, I have to give it to my sister. So last year for me was a year in which I wasn't calm at all, right? I mean, I had a PhD to finish, I had a thesis to write, I had to find a job, I had to move abroad, I had to sell all my stuff, I had to move in with my partner. I had to do so many things, like so many things on my checklist, one day after another. And as much as I try to approach this really mindful and regulating my emotions, it wasn't easy, right? I struggled through it. You know what they say, do the things, do them with fear, but do them anyway. I did them anyway, but of course, I ended up paying a price for that, right? Mid-year, I was totally burnt out. I had moved away from my home, settled in a new place, in a new country. It was great. I was starting a new job. It was great. But also, I was like 100% all the time, right? No rest. And
Yeah.
I don't want to bring that into this new year. That's something that I did last year. It was a sacrifice. It was something that actually took me to places. But that's an energy that I don't want to drag into this year. That's something that I really want to change. So the scope that I need to have in my mind is just feeling calm. Again, this doesn't guarantee that I'm going to be calm all year, every day, but that is going to be the mindset, right?
That's your baseline.
Things,
That's
yeah,
you want calm to be your baseline.
yeah. Do the things. Kind of like it's similar to feeling regulated, right? You give the opportunity to regulate yourself. So you actually go through your emotions and feel how you're going to behave. Have a moment to think about how you're going to behave. What thoughts are you going to put into your head? Things like that. So I feel like that's something that I really need to do this year, that I'm trying to do and incorporating everything that I do in my job, which is, it isn't calm at all. Like I'm trying to approach it in a calm way. The city that I live in, it's not calm.
Yeah.
But I'm approaching it in a calm way, right? Also family drama, like interacting with people, fighting your own demons, call it whatever. So that's going to be my word. Hopefully it stays for the rest of the year because I really need that regulation to sink in.
I had so many goosebumps hearing you talk. I really did. Well, first of all, because I was there when you were mentioning the checklist, like everything that you did last year. Like I was so in awe. I was there. Saturday morning calls revolved around those issues, you know? And
Yeah.
to your point, you did it. You did it, you know? So I mean, I hope that you've internalized that because that was no easy feat. Even when we saw each other in New York, like he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna move to Colombia tomorrow. Like I didn't even know. Like I was like, oh no, Gladys is gonna go back to Houston, and then like it's gonna be like a week, and then she said, no, I'm gonna go to. I was like,
I was going to pick up my stuff and leave.
exactly. I guess the last thing that I was gonna tell you is I have a question for you. Do you think, because you're saying that calm, you want calm to be your baseline this year? Do you think that you were addicted to stress last year? I don't.
I think I am addicted
Mm-hmm.
to this. I don't think that has changed. And this is also kind of like the approach of talking about New Year's resolutions. It's not like January 1st hits and then you become a new, no, you're the same person. So I think for me, that's still a thing. I am somehow addicted to feeling that stress.
How does it make you feel? Like being addicted to stress. 'Cause I used to be addicted to stress, but I think it hits everyone differently.
So for me, I think it makes me feel anxious whenever I sit down for a minute and think about everything that I have to do. While I'm doing things, it's just like, okay, I'm flowing. It's fine, right? Especially because I can find like a good headspace to work. But in the calm moments, when I'm alone and I'm not checking my phone or anything, or nobody's calling me, then it hits me. And it's not a nice feeling, right? I mean, why would I want to encourage this feeling in my life? It's not helpful.
Interesting.
I don't know if you felt something similar, but
So
that's
it's
way for me.
yeah, it's in the calm moments.
It is.
Yeah. Which is awesome that now you want calm to be your baseline. It's like kind of like being okay with silence. Silence is not a threat. Silence is okay. You know? There's this really cool song. I went to a musical called Stereophonic. That's one of the things. I think that was my last date, like self date of last year. And I love the song so much. And one of them is called Masquerade. This phrase, it's like, I prayed for 40 nights, haven't gotten an answer yet. I like the silence anyway. I was like, yes, it's okay. This song's about them going to a masquerade party and not being completely satisfied, even though life is great. And we keep praying because that's usually how it goes. But if we haven't gotten the answer yet, it's okay. We like the silence anyways. Nothing's wrong.
And I love that you bring that up because there's also this connection to being scared to certain scenarios, right? Am I scared of being alone or being at ease with myself or just in silence for a while or doing things on my own? You just mentioned like I have a self date, the last self date that I had last year. That is amazing. A lot of people do not actually face these kind of situations. So something that I actually wanted to ask you is, and again, this is again to my sister because my sister was the one who told me like you need to chill, but in a good way. Keep you still. Like that needs to be something on your list. And the other one was, why don't you face a fear? Why don't you face something that you're maybe scared of? Or just the thought of, am I scared of something? Do I have a fear? Is there something that I need to face this year?
Mm.
That really made me question because when she told me, it's like, okay, what am I scared of? Sharks in the shower? This is a very personal thing. Are we scared of failure? Are we scared of trying something new,
I was scared of success.
of success, of being independent? Like, how about facing a fear this year for a change? Thinking about resolutions. What do you think? Are you facing something?
I think I am facing several things, but
Yes.
you know, I think when we mentioned this, I think it was last Saturday. I was like, that's very interesting. I think you were the one who said that because I was like, I want to take more risks this year. So yesterday, I was asked, what was your favorite or best year yet?
Mhm.
Right. And I said, well, on paper, it was last year, like on paper. And when I say on paper, I mean like speaking about material stuff, speaking about jobs, speaking about stability, like technically it was last year. But like was it my favorite, like most personal year? No, it wasn't. Like my favorite year continues to be 2021, which is the year that I moved to the States,
Yeah.
like 5 years ago. Yeah. Like literally 5 years ago.
And
I was looking at the calendar. Like, yes.
face the fear. Face something that you, again, this is 29 years of knowing each other, that I knew you wanted for so long and that you had been working for so long. But the only thing that you were ready ages ago to take that movement
Yeah.
and you're to take that step. And then when you finally did it, dude, you were ready years ago. That's the year that you faced the fear.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes I'm like, oh, did I procrastinate? I don't. I don't think that I procrastinate. And this also hits like with the resolutions, right? Like sometimes we write resolutions and like at the end of the year, there's always like if you're the kind of person that goes back and reads your list again, there's always gonna be like one or two that
Mhm.
you didn't quote unquote hit, you know? But like I feel that if you at least got it started, like okay, it didn't finish, but like I did start and right now, and I mean it was 25%. Like I accomplished 25% of this. But you know what? You're entering a new year and now you don't have to do 100%, you have to do 75%. But like, you know what I'm saying? So like I guess what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, like sometimes we feel that like sometimes maybe it's not procrastination. Like I feel sometimes it's like preparation. I look at myself and I'm like, okay, I moved here when I was 29. And part of me is like, you know what? I'm glad that happened. I don't think that it would have worked the way that it's worked if I had moved here when I was 25, because like I wasn't even in therapy. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have a sponsor, like a company. You know what I mean? So like I feel that like there was like I believe in synchronicities and serendipity. So there were a lot of things that actually like started orbiting around my specific situation that allowed me to be like, you know what, even though I don't feel 100% ready, I think it's time to take the risk. And that is the thing. That is risk taking and facing the fear. There's no such thing as fearless. We're always going to be afraid. You said it yourself. Like, I was afraid, but I did it anyway. That's what you have to do. And if you're doing that, plus regulating yourself, you're upping your chances of success right there. Yeah.
And of feeling good while you do the things,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
it doesn't have to be a continuous suffering of getting things done. I mean, of course, you may be scared of doing things, right? I mean, when you moved into the US, it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going. I mean, I have no fear. No, of course, you were scared about different scenarios becoming true, right? But you did it anyway, and you enjoyed the process with all the
I
ups
did.
and downs that it had.
And I still am. Like, I still am. It feels like home now. Like, LA feels like home, but it's always going to be new. You said it yourself. Like, if there's never, it's not such thing as like a process that is already done when you're a human. Like, we're
No.
just going to keep changing. There's nothing more constant than change. Clearly, all things must pass. That's George Harrison.
Indeed. Indeed. I think like for me, it was just to start something new, like to learn something new that I really enjoyed. So I have devoted like the past few years to just studying things, right? I mean, work on research, study things. It is the most frustrating professional path that I could ever get because you feel like you're never an expert on things, right? It is frustrating, but you learn how to live with it. But then I really wanted to try something new in a community, right? So not something on my own, but just with peers, right? And put myself out there. So that's what I did with yoga this year because I had been practicing kind of like more sporty versions of yoga. So power yoga, hot yoga, things like that. I did, which were great, but I never had the time or the intention to actually sit down in a studio and do the breathing work. You've told me about breathing work and how
Right.
important it is. Breath work, yes. And combine the meditation, combine it with the yoga, learn the new things, learn to chant and like everything. And that's something that I did this year. And I feel like it was facing a fear because you arrive into a new place, everybody's already there. There's other people watching. It's not you with your yoga mat at home.
Mm.
And again, today I was shaking like for 20 minutes straight, like couldn't control my breath work and everything, but I'm working on it. So that feels good to learn something from scratch with, discipline, mindfulness, and in a community, right? So people are watching. It's the failure to fall in front of everybody. So, I mean, I think that's something that is just worth reflecting on.
The social and community side of things. I agree. One of the best things that happened to me last year was having taken that. I took an acting course. I hadn't done that in a while. It was so great. Most of the people were like international students or just like didn't live in LA. Not only did I end up reconnecting with my craft and reconnecting with myself, doing catharsis and stuff, but also like I made new friends.
Yeah.
Like I have two amazing beautiful Irish girlfriends, and they're like 20 something, and they're amazing. You know what I mean? Like, and we hung out the last day, like, we went to Santa Monica. We hung out in my apartment later, and we connected so much. And honestly, all the decisions that I made, and that I'm entering the year with and trying to accomplish this year, brewed there. There was this monologue that I chose from before midnight. So it was funny because I hadn't seen that third movie before, like at that time. And it was funny because I'd only seen back then the second movie, right?
Yeah.
Which people were like, oh my God, it's the best one. But the first one is like the classic. It's a classic too. So I was like, okay. And then like I chose this monologue because that's how I was feeling. I hadn't seen the movie, but I was like, interesting. I guess they're fighting. Because like we've never seen these two people fight. Like I assume not in the first movie. Second movie, they don't fight. It's more like, oh, you're married. Oh, it's 10 years. I haven't seen you. Blah, 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 right? But then, like, so it was funny because, like, I see this monologue and I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I'm feeling. But then part of me is like, wait, are they fighting in their movie? So, like, yes, they're fighting in their movie. It's awful. But, like, anyway, what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, when I remember doing it and, like, we worked it. And at the end, I felt so much clarity. And I feel that I wouldn't have been able to arrive to that clarity and that personal conclusion if I hadn't done it in front of people and if I hadn't had a supportive community where we're all learning, where we're all giving feedback.
Absolutely.
And that was incredible. So I think for me this year, I also want to find more experiences that I can explore with a community around me. I also talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like, how can I give back? Like, I feel that I don't give enough back. Like, maybe that's why I also try to put content out there like this and like in my socials. It's always like, okay, here's what's helping me. Here's what it's my way of giving back, but it's a very individual way of a very curated way also to give back. So I would love to continue exploring community stuff. And if it has to do with art, and that's who I am, then I think that will have an impact in the world.
Yeah. And you don't have to go that far, right? I mean, it could be right there in your community, in your neighborhood, right? Act locally and have a global impact in that sense.
Local.
Global. Something that our conversation has been revolving around is because we're not really talking about what are the resolutions that we're coming into this year and what are we going to do? It's more like, how do you want to feel almost?
Yeah. And what's the mindset?
What is the mindset? And the resolutions can be varied, right? But just having a clear mindset about how you want to feel, how you want to approach things, kind of like a scope thing, really helps. Now I'm curious about being anti-resolutions. Have you ever been anti-resolutions? Like, I don't want to think what I'm going to do this year. Not in
Yes.
a single way. What do you think about that approach? I'm
I
curious.
mean, I've done it. I've done it. I don't know if like with like resolutions, but I think that there's been a year at least where I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not
Mhm,
doing this, or I'm just having one. I'm just
mhm.
having one and I'm focusing on that one and that's it. But yes, I mean, I think that whenever I've arrived to that mindset, it's been because I've been pushing myself so hard, like so hard. Like, okay, like I've been not even pushing myself. I've been extra focused on the outcome. And
Yeah.
that is the worst. If you want to jinx something, this is what I've learned. If you want to jinx something, if you want to jinx anything, focus on the outcome. From weight loss, gym motivation to relationships, work, dude, everything, like auditions, like that's been the biggest learning of the past year. If
Mm.
you wanna, actually past 2 years, if you wanna jinx something, go ahead and focus on the outcome. Remember what you were like on Wednesday? You were like, no, yeah, on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
You were like, wait, was it? No, Tuesday night. Tuesday night. You helped me through.
Yeah.
Yeah, my breakdown. It's like, it's like you were like, Dalma, what happens when we want something? And I was like, we don't get it. And you were like, what? I'm like, wait, in what context? But like, that's what I meant. That's
Yeah.
what I meant. Cause like, it's also like the energy, the
Yeah.
energy. It's like, give me a guarantee. Like this has to happen. And it's not even, and I feel that like we're projecting. So we don't even want the outcome because we can get the outcome. But if it's not the way that we thought we were going to get it, then that's an issue too. So I
Yeah.
think, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there's also kind of like, is this variation between the resolution that you say you want versus what you actually want, right? I mean, you put it in terms of outcome, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to, I don't know, lose weight. I want to get a new job. That's the result. What are the actual changes that you have to implement in mindset to get there? And that is what you actually want. You want to feel better with yourself. You want to have a different professional experience, right? Maybe it's not about losing weight. Maybe it is about feeling more
Self-care,
comfortable
self-worth,
physically
self-esteem.
or gaining weight. It depends, right? So it's not about the outcome per se. I 100% agree with you. It's more about what is it that we're actually doing to change the way we feel about something. And that is more constructive than just put it in terms of this is what I want to do, and then I'll do anything. Yeah. To
Doesn't matter
be
if I'm feeling shitty.
in the process. Yes.
Totally. Totally, totally, totally. So that has been what, that has been what filmmaking was for me
Mhm.
in 2024.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cause like I had this, first of all, I had a version in my head that I hadn't experienced. Right. So I didn't know how it was gonna go when I made the movie that I made.
Mhm.
And I don't think that it's not that I didn't enjoy the process because I learned and it was great and like I like the resume that I have. You know what I mean? Like that's how I look at it. And but when I was doing it, I don't feel that I enjoyed it that much. Like because I
Mhm.
was so focused on the outcome. I was like so focused on like, okay, what are the festivals that are saying yes to us? How am I gonna promote this? I was so focused on the outcome. And even in the premiere, I think you and Cynthia constantly came to me, and I appreciate that. But that was like a telltale sign. I was like, okay. You were like,
You're
are you
okay.
okay?
I
You
just
good?
remember
Did
this.
everything okay? And I'm like, why are people asking me every 15 minutes if I am okay? And I was like with my dress and like my stuff, and I was like, I'm fine. So
This is
like, I don't know.
a moment. I'm so
Yeah. Oh, I'm fine. What he does, like literally, like, like literally. Now I get it. Now I get it.
yeah.
Um. So yeah, I don't want to go through life like that anymore. And I think that's why I've been taking a break. Maybe it's because it wasn't really like the filmmaking. It was more like the approach and what you said, the behavior that I had, and how hyper fixated I was on the
Mhm.
outcome. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, the best part of that weekend was hanging out with you guys,
Mm.
was going to Bakari afterwards, was going to fucking Griffith Park and Santa Monica the next day and the
Yeah.
picnic. And that was what I was actually looking forward to,
Yeah.
you know?
What
So,
you what you said you wanted, like all the premiere, but you actually really wanted, right? Just connections. And we're going back to the community thing here again, right? So important. So it is a matter of recognizing that we're not alone in this, however you want to frame your New Year resolution quest thing, right? Process, outcome, whatever you want to frame it, do not take it so personally, right? I mean, it takes a village. You need your community to do things.
yeah.
So do not isolate in the process of getting the things that you want to do this year. What do you think about? Well, I mean, I am just to kind of like follow up on the last question. I am not so anti resolution. It doesn't mean that every year that I'd set up new ones, but something that I have done with my family for the past 20 years is set up family New Year resolutions.
Oh, that's nice.
Not at a yearly level, but kind of like a 5 year level. So it doesn't make you question every year exactly what you're doing, but think about things that you want to accomplish. Again, this is going back to the community kind of thing. As a family, within the next 5 years, I didn't fulfill all my resolutions. I did not, but it was out there, right? We discussed it as a family and it was a nice experience. This year, we did it again. So we have resolutions for the next 5 years, things that we want to accomplish, like all sorts of things. And I think stepping aside the fact of just getting at the outcomes, it is this sense of socializing this with people that you care so they know what to, right? It's like, oh, this is what she wants for the next 5 years. She may not accomplish this, she may change them, but I know that they know what I want. So I think having that backup in terms of community, whatever that is, could be a family, could be a best friend, it could be your workmates, if you're a student, your classmates, your partner, however you want to frame it. Thinking about collective resolutions or at least socializing them. What do you think about that? Have you encountered this collective experience before in the past?
Yeah, that's why I was getting a little bit moved because we do that. I do something very similar with my family too. These past 3 years that they visited me, we always sit down at the table and we socialize
Mhm.
our yearly resolutions. We don't do a 5 year plan, but we do say out loud what we want, what we're trying to accomplish. So we did that this year too. I love that. Ever since we started doing it, I always look forward to that moment because I feel the socializing side of things. It's just so important. And you're totally right, especially when you're in the community. One of the things that this gets me back to acting. One of the things that I kind of like doesn't completely satisfy me about acting is it tends to be until it's not, it tends to be a very individual process. You know what I mean? Like when you get an audition, right? And then you go through the script alone, you have to do the character work alone, you have to reach and get to all of these conclusions and do the work, whatever. You audition, okay, you have a reader. So there's one person there, but you're kind of the producer of this scene. You know what
Mm.
I mean? Like I think about auditions like a short form thing. Like you're the producer, you're the director. And then that's it. So it's a very individual thing
Yeah.
until it's not. Until
Mm.
it's not. So it's like you have to be ready to shift gears, you know, like almost immediately. And then it does become something like community driven. Because like even when you're backstage waiting with the rest of the people, actors, whatever, that is the community. So like you usually, that's why people hate method actors, which is really not method. Because I went to Lee Strasberg and that's not what method is. So like this and that completely different podcast. But like I think yeah, I don't understand the rules. Method, they don't like leave the character. That's not what David Strasberg said that he's teaching. So it's like, I don't understand. Long story short, that is the community side of things. And you're there with the actors. And that's when you actually, but you're not really showing the character. You're just like showing your humanity. And like, that's actually also part of the method. Cause like you can do that while still holding your character in mind and being prepared. You know what I mean? And then you just go and you do your scene and it lasts, I don't know, 20 minutes and that's it. And like, and then you go back, you go backstage, you kind of like share what went down, how you felt. That's usually what happens. And that ends up being kind of like the best part of the experience. You know what I mean? And of course, if you're a good actor and when you were in the scene, you were able to completely, I don't know, be Al Pacino, who's freaking free in the scene while still holding structure and knowing exactly the beats and where you have to walk and whatever, and you were also like listening to your partner, then okay, that's the sense of community as well. And like the people that are surrounding you, the cameraman, director, all of it. That is like the communal experience in a very specific way, because it's work, but we're all trying to build something like a team, you know? But yes, I guess that's like, I guess what I'm saying is that actually I'm glad that I said this out loud. Like, I guess that's why people really love acting. Maybe I'm focusing on the wrong things. I'm focusing more on the individual side of things and how I don't enjoy that. And maybe I should actually, and we started the podcast doing this, right? Like, why should we focus on internalizing the positive more? Right? Like, why should we focus on the negative? Why am I internalizing the negative part? I should be more focused on this beautiful communal side of acting that I hadn't even realized it had until I just literally said it out loud. So this is the Saturday call. This is literally what happens during our Saturday call. So yes.
Of truths.
Thank you, Gladys. You see, that's why I love you.
So, I mean, I think there's something really interesting about the approach that we have developed towards New Year resolution. So there's this collective side of things, and of course the individual side, right? Because you are the one who think what you
Yeah.
want to do during the
Yeah.
year.
CEO of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're living your life. That's what you do. But also recognizing that you're going to have people around you that can help you reach out those goals or enjoy the process more of what you're doing, right? Which is also valid. It's not always about outcomes. So that said, I think usually one thing that people do when framing resolutions is just doing this checklist, right? Okay, I'm going to do all these things this year. What do you think? Is this a year that we do all of those things that we've been trying to do for the past few?
Or maybe 70%. Because like, how are we going to know? Maybe we can frame it as, is this the year where we hold the mindset we need to do all the things we said we want to accomplish this year? Is this the year? Because like, if we hold the mindset throughout the 12 months, oh my God, isn't that an accomplishment? Isn't that the main accomplishment, if you think about it?
I think you're absolutely right. And that also kind of like gives an answer to that internal question of why are we abandoning things mid-year? Why do we say we're going to start with something and then life gets in the way and you stop doing whatever you said that you were going to do? You stop reading that book at night. You stop doing your hobby. You stop eating healthier. You stop working out. You stop calling your friends, checking in, family. You stop doing the things that you said that you were going to start doing. Maybe it is just a mindset thing. So
Because
maybe
you drop the mindset. We drop the mindset. Yeah, we're not nourishing the mindset.
so instead of just reminding yourself of the 10 year resolutions that you have or 1 year resolution that you have, maybe what you should try to remind yourself is a constant reminder, a daily reminder that you can do things, whatever you propose, right? I can wrap myself, I can regulate my emotions, I can be calm amidst the chaos. A constant reminder, an everyday reminder. Maybe that's all you need to do instead of just reviewing the list, right?
I agree. Goosebumps forever. Like, no, seriously. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like holding the mindset. What do I need to hold this mindset? And it's probably that word. I love how this has been like, yeah, I really hope you guys are liking it, because I think we really wanted to do it spontaneous, but also have a common thread and an interconnectedness. And I do think that this is it. I really do think that it's not about the resolutions. It's about what mindset should I have to accomplish all the things that I want to accomplish, and how can I nourish this mindset? And this is a really good strategy, right? Which word do you want to enter the new year with, right? If it's regulation, like in our case, because like yours is calm, but like calm, regulation, very similar, right? That is going to help us specifically nourish and therefore hold the mindset that we want to have to accomplish all the things that we wrote.
Practice it every day. Try to remind yourself of that every day. I mean, you were talking about the affirmations that you do every morning. I have to confess, I am not as disciplined as you with the affirmations,
It's okay.
but that could be something, right? To like how to frame this as an affirmation.
Mm.
That it doesn't mean that you have to be calm all day. It doesn't mean that you have to be regulated all day. Spoiler alert, guaranteed, you won't.
Yeah, exactly.
Slow regulated. But you can give it a shot, right? Every day. And then the rest will fall into place.
It's about nourishing. It's like literally just nourishing, you know? Like I am a better person. And I've always said that. I am a better person when I do breath work or meditate twice a day. Always. Like if I do one, but like when I do two, it's like, wow, like I have so much clarity. I'm able to hold myself together. I'm able to show up better for in the world. So I love it. What's the next item in the docket?
And so, like, and next Saturday, I think, like, just to start wrapping up the core conversation about resolutions, is going back to this idea of the list, right? So, let's say you have a list. It could be one item, it could be 10 items, it could be 20, if you're ambitious, whatever it is. What is going to be the priorities here? I mean, one thing is the mindset, but let's not forget that, I mean, you want to achieve things, you want to do.
Right.
So, the mindset is what's going to give you the structure to get these things done. What is the priority? Is it healthy to have one priority, or the more the merrier? How do you succeed when you're laser focused, or when you have like different projects, multitasking, doing all at once? What was the movie name?
Everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, like, what is your take? I feel like here we're quite different in how we approach things. Maybe not, but
You know, I mean, obviously, I am I saw this interview with Guillermo del Toro. And he was like, there's nothing like having several projects and working on several projects at the same time because you get to rest from each. And therefore, when you go back to it, then you have a fresh take. And I love that. That is
Yeah.
totally true. It happens for me. Like, I feel that I wouldn't be as happy. And I tested this. I tried to only do acting in 2024, and it was like one of the worst years ever because like I was again hyper focused on the result, and I was just doing one thing, and then I was working out one day doing like hip thrust, and then I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like I'm not just one thing. I do like a lot of things, and like what was that I can't like I don't know. I think I just read the Arnold Schwarzenegger book, like the one that he came out with one in 2023 or 2024. I don't know. And then I love the guy. I think he's great. And then he was like, oh, don't have a plan B. You have to focus plan A. And I'm like, okay, Arnold, I'll give it a go. That didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. So I do like to have several projects at the same time. I will say that when it comes to resolutions, what I do try to do though is to kind of put them in different buckets. So like
Mhm.
I have a creative resolution, like which is maybe not even career oriented, because like being creative doesn't necessarily mean that you have to make money, you know? Creativity is just sexual energy too. So it's like it's more about passion. It's more about being connected and like super connected to yourself and being able and allow yourself to play. So I have a creative resolution, and then I have a personal resolution, and then I have a professional resolution, and then I have a money resolution. So like
Okay.
that, and for me, that kind of is like having several projects at the same time. It's
Okay.
like, okay, so today I'm focusing more on this one. Oh, today I'm working more on this one. Then again, the common thread is like, oh, if I regulate myself, I am able to be in the mindset where I get to accomplish this and also receive from each of these concepts.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I like that. I respect that. Respect that.
Oh,
But I struggle, you know,
doing that?
with a lot on my plate. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't do it because, you know,
Because you do. Yeah.
I play this full of things, right? But I would really like to narrow down a little bit more because of prioritizing what I do. Because for me, it has given me, to some extent, results. So, for example, last year, I wanted to graduate from my PhD, and I thought that I was never going to graduate. Like, this is never going to happen.
Can I just say that every time you said that, I was like, the bitch is crazy. Like, you're like a dad. Like,
To LA, and everybody called me Dr. Gladys. I didn't have my best yet,
yeah,
but
it's so funny. Like, like, Dalma, you know that I'm still a doctor. I'm like, well, you are here. This is LA.
But you know what? You know what I did? Like for the and this was a transition from one year to another because it took like November, December 2024 and January, February 2025 just to really focus getting my dissertation done, putting it out there, blocking time to sit down. That didn't mean that I didn't have other things. I had like a system in place. So I continued to go to the gym. I continued to do the running, eating well, sleeping well most of the nights. But I focused on that. I hyper focused on that. And I was able to wrap up the 5-year project in 4 months. And
Wow.
get right. And I enjoy the process. I enjoy the process of sitting down, of getting the feedback from my advisor, like doing everything, being called a doctor in LA. Right? It drained all my energy, but I hyper focused. So I think there are moments in your life where you actually, in this list of things that you have to do, you stick to priority, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget about the mindset. Don't forget about the magic word that you want to enter this year with. But stick to that priority if it's urgent, that you really want to move forward to feel in a different way. For me, it wasn't as much as getting graduated, but it was about, okay, I need to push myself forward towards this, get it done because I've been working for this for so long. Like I need to wrap it up. I still don't believe that I did that, but I did it. Everything fell into place. Exactly. But I did hyper focus. So I think that like I respect the way that you're thinking about it and I myself do it. But there are moments in life in which you just like move forward. Oh,
I agree.
those priorities, right?
And I was gonna say, I think you said the magic word, and I agree when you said. I was like, yeah, I think there are gonna be moments in your life, and I think there are gonna be years of your life in which you are gonna have to be hyper focused, in which you are gonna need to have a priority. And you're gonna, yeah, I totally agree. And I feel that in my case, like, even though I like having several projects at the same time and gravitate towards those projects, I will say that this year, from the 6 things that I wrote, I would say that 2 are the priority for me. The creative one, because I really want to feel connected to my purpose here on earth. And if I'm connected to my purpose, then again, same thing. I'm nourishing the mindset and I get to show up better. There's another affirmation that I say every morning. Everything happens for the good of myself and everyone around me, you know? So like that's connected to it. And then the second priority, it's a very physical, not physical like in a gym thing, but more of a like a personal priority, you know, that requires logistics and like that is important. So those are the main 2. Not that I'm not gonna like accomplish the other 4, right? We have that hyper focus sometimes on the process to get that specific thing that we need to hyper focus on. Not the outcome, but
It's
the process towards arriving to that specific point, you know, in life.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I think this sets the mood to start closing the conversation and like with a ritual. And one thing that I think we should think about is what questions we're also bringing into this year, right? Because there's this whole culture, which I think it's great, but it also needs to be questioned. This idea of affirmations. You're just telling yourself what you're going to accomplish, how you want to feel, what you want to do. Sometimes you just need to question yourself. Right? You know that actually, like a PhD, that's what it means, like a professional in doing questions. This is ridiculous.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, actually not answering them, just making. I'm joking.
That is so funny. Like a philosopher.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
It's a doctorate in philosophy. That's basically what it is. So, um, what questions are we taking into the year? How are we motivating the way that we're behaving? How are we motivating that mindset? What question do you want to put forward? I have to say, I was inspired by something you said. So I'm going to bring my question from something you said.
Okay. You want to start while I think about my question?
Yes. So I think surprisingly, because I didn't see this coming, a lot of the discussion today was about community and something that I'm bringing the question to, that I think is going to also help me feel calm with what I do. It's how can I support the community around me this year? How can I be a point of support? Support grounded in self care, because sometimes what we do is that, okay, yes, I am support for the people around me, for my family, for my friends. And then you're not taking any care and just taking all the burden, right?
Yeah.
This is like being on a plane and then
We have a PhD on that too. Like, we do.
right, you have to put the maps first and then help the others, right? So, how can I be more supportive to my community this year? And with community, like, I also want to challenge myself to think outside the box, right? I mean, not all my friends are family, but like my actual community, my neighborhood, the people that live around me, because we don't often think about that. I think like today's society has become quite individualistic. You don't know your neighbor's name. So I think
Wow.
that's something that I want to take into the year.
Mm. You know what? I actually think that I have to ditto that question too, because I really do feel that that is what is missing in my process. When I was a singer in Barranquilla, you know this, I had a huge community. Like, community was there. Like, my either whether it was the band or the
I
people that came to the. I
yeah.
know. I feel so connected. I haven't found that in LA yet. I think in 2022, when I made The Sovereign, the feature, I mean, because I arrived and then I lived at this co-living space. That was
Mm.
awesome because that was the community of artists and everything. And I was there for like almost a year. And then I got cast in the musical. And then I lived again with a bunch of artists for 1 month, right? So more community there. Then I go back again to the co-living. And then, yeah, sure, I moved. But then I get cast in the Sovereign and then I meet more people. So that was like a whole year. Like, that was like a whole year. Like, that I had community, you
Mhm.
know? And then
Yes.
and then life happened. Then
This is
then life happened.
so
And
my my
and then you forget about it. And then you forget about, and you know what? And then you focus on your things. And sure, you have a partner and then you have a relationship. That makes you more individualistic too. I will say that is something that I'm trying not to do anymore, not being so individualistic when you have a relationship. Let's check in with our friends. What
yeah.
can I do today? That also keeps that sense of community alive within you. I really want to start organizing events again. I used to, and that's community too. That was something that I did for the community in Barranquilla as well. Like, I organized these events, whether it was like the Entre Notas at the Museum of Modern Art or a random freaking Britney Spears rock tribute. Like, you know what I mean? So it's different here because, like, of course, I was taking American culture and putting it in a place where American culture is not the norm. So here, what do? I have several ideas. Something that I always wanted to do. I've never said this out loud. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I would love to have like this sort of meeting or group where immigrants that are going through paperwork, through change of status, through what I went through, from an extension to an H-1B to the lottery to a green card, where we can sit down and talk about it. Because there's such a draining process. And the thing is that for me, first time navigating this, as it is for most people, clearly, I found myself in a place where I was isolated, alienated, and nobody could understand. The only person that could understand me was you when I talked to you, because you went not through the same process, but
But
like a
yeah.
similar process because of your student visa and stuff. Like, you were the only one. And even in like the personal thing that I'm going through right now, you're the only person that I can talk to, because like it's such an alienating thing. I would love to have like this group where just we meet and like we talk about it. And of course, if they maybe need like legal advice, because we have a pool of maybe lawyers that they can reach out. But what I wanted to say is that like this was born from me navigating this, not having anyone to talk to, and wanting to talk about it with my lawyer. And there's nothing worse. There is nothing worse than wanting to be emotional with a lawyer. It's not gonna happen. This is not Better Call Saul. Like, no, this is not like it's the worst. Like, and my lawyer is great, okay? She's fine. Like when I misplaced a document, I remember like emailing her like at 12, like at midnight, and she responded, she's like, okay, Dalma, it's totally fine. Like, well, just send me this stuff. Like, she's cool. But she's not like my best friend. Because I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through this. And oh my god. Yeah, no. There's gonna be like, nope. Yeah, you know? So I've always wanted to do that.
I think that's something you should pursue, especially, and I think this could be another podcast with the political climate that the US is living right now.
Yeah.
Social media could also be a means.
No, but I want it to be face to face. That's the thing. Like, yeah, like AA.
Walking distance.
Yeah, like AA. Hi, I'm Dalma and I'm an immigrant. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. And then we have cocktails over here, full of lawyers over here. You got coffee over there. Let's talk about it. Like,
we need to think about ideas. We need to brainstorm about ways to make this happen because
I know, right? Because it's cool, right? It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And again, it goes back to the sense of building community, right? Mm-hmm. So please don't tell me the truth. A truth that you're not ready to act upon yet. Can we answer this question? This is weird. This is so hard.
Is there truth that I'm not ready to
act on yet?
To act on yet? Or to accept? To act on yet. Oh, I don't know if I can say.
Interpersonal.
Okay, maybe not act on yet, but maybe for me, it's like a truth that I landed on. And it has to do with regulation and it has to do with the truth is that, and this came from you on Tuesday night.
Okay.
And I was like, didn't know Gladys noticed that too? It's like, I mean, this is gonna sound bad, but it's not. So when we say that we're addicted to drama, for example, like you were like, okay, like you don't need any drama. The reason why I think that, you know what? I think that is the truth. I think that I have to accept that part of me because I've been on survival mode for so long. And I think that part of me has equated intensity with love, intensity with I'm doing good. Like even when you're addicted to stress, right? There's an intensity there. You know what I mean? But it's like, oh my God, I'm doing something. So I think that is one truth that I landed on. And I'm like, you know what? This is a tendency. Yeah. And I talked about it at the beginning of the podcast. Like that is a tendency that I have, but I'm catching myself in the act. Yeah. And I try to just not act on it, not react, but respond. Okay. So that's mine. It's mine.
Thank you for sharing that. I think mine goes again with this idea of self-care and feeling calm, especially when you have a lot on your plate. Usually when you have a lot on your plate, it's because you put things there from the buffet. Sometimes things appear, but sometimes it's your own choice.
Yeah.
And something that my colleagues have told me repeatedly is that I don't know how to ask for help. I'd be sinking, drowning, like trying to eat everything on my plate and organize things. And then I'm not telling anyone that I'm struggling. And I think that's something that I would like to change this year. I still don't know how to do it because I feel like I struggle, especially like in the professional setting, to ask for help. This year has changed a lot for me because for the first time, I have a research assistant. She's the absolute best. So I can rely on her to do things, right? I'm like, I communicate things.
Yeah. What's her name?
It's like Camila. Camila is like the...
Shut up!
What?
Well, I have a Camila told in my life, and she does exactly the same thing.
Serendipity.
You call her Cami?
I do.
Okay, shout out to our Camis. in our life. You're
Thank
the
you, Cami.
absolute
Thank you, Cami.
the best. Okay.
Everyone deserves a Camila in their life.
Everyone deserves a Camila in their life. They really do. I
They wrap.
mean this. Shout
So
out to our Camis. Oh my
it's
God, this is so.
she has helped me to ask for help. It's like, what do you need? So she's there, right? But it's not something that I'm actively doing, you know?
Yeah, I get it. Totally
So
get it.
I need to figure out the way. But yeah, I'm not ready to do that yet. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. She has helped a lot, but that's something that I'm actually working on.
Maybe ask yourself, you don't have to do it now, but maybe asking yourself, where does that come from? Like, where does the not asking for help come from? And I'm telling you this because I acted on this, like, there's this organization called Latinas in Tech.
Mhm.
And there was an event. So we created some shorts that revolved around racial microaggression,
Oh,
you know? And it was so great. Like the scripts were, I mean, it was cringy when you saw them because it was so real, right? But I remember one of the topics, one of the titles of the little capsules. I mean, they were called like, not all Latinas are created equal. So it was like this bot that like tells me, okay, I want you to take the Mexican client because like you're from Brazil. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't speak Spanish. I speak Portuguese. No, 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 it's then you do shit like that. And then one of them though was, I can do everything by myself. And it was about, I didn't act on it, but it was about this Latina, right? Who was in the office like after way past after everyone had left, and she was so overwhelmed, and she was just like filling out documents, just trying to work, and like, and then I guess like either the boss or like someone comes and it's like, wait, you're doing this on your own? Like, no, why don't you reach out to the team or like tell me that you can't do it tomorrow because you had more stuff on your plate? Like, you know what I mean? I think it also comes from us being a marginalized community and us, unfortunately, not seeing a lot of people that look like us in the spaces where we move. And we know that because the spaces are limited for people like us, we're like, oh, we have to fucking be, what's the word? It's like when you're the best, when you're
like outstanding.
yes,
Outstanding.
yes,
Really,
you have to be outstanding, and that's what the guy from the actor from Kiss of the Spider Woman, I was reading his interview. He was like, no, like, well, Hollywood doesn't want Latinos. And I didn't really, I mean, I understand where he comes from, but he was like, Hollywood doesn't like Latinos. So you have to be extraordinary. That's the word.
Yeah.
You have to be extraordinary. And I'm like, you know what? Like, no. And it's not about me not wanting to be extraordinary. I fucking think I'm extraordinary right now. Cause like, if you're extraordinary too. Cause like, if we weren't extraordinary, we wouldn't be in the space where we are right now. Sure, we're working towards leveling up and being in this space where we want to be in 5 years, exactly what we're talking about. But like, I'm not going to continue feeding to the idea that it comes from this stereotype and from this limited, narrowed notion that we have to continue being in survival mode because there are not so many spaces and we have to be extraordinary and I'm not going to like ask for help. You know what I'm saying? So that's my 2 cents here. I mean, I don't know if that's how you feel, but it's good to ask the question, where is this coming?
Yeah, no, and that resonates with me and with what we discussed about the process, right? Because when you actually focus on, okay, I have to be outstanding, perform, you're not enjoying the process, getting things done, right? So it is a matter of reflecting what what can I do to make this more enjoyable for me and have a better outcome at the same time, right? And sometimes it's asking for help. It takes the glitch. We go back to the community thing, right? So yeah, that's something that I really need to act on, and that I think we all should start wondering, like, how do I reach out for help? Do things in a group setting can help. I mean, you have to do things on your own, of course, but it helps when, and it's also like often the outcomes is even better when people work together towards a goal.
Of course, like making a movie or a podcast. This has been by far like the most fun I've had on an episode. Seriously. because there's community here. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So great. So
Mhm.
are we, what's next? Should we tell
Should
the
we
lovely
better tell
people
the
that,
truth? That's what you said at the end, right?
what? What do you think?
Go out and tell the truth.
Exactly. Guys, this was the episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please share it on your socials. Tell us if you loved it, if you hated it, which part resonated with you. Don't forget to follow this podcast. Sometimes you are listening to a podcast, but then you don't realize that you're actually not following. And that really does make a difference because it allows Spotify to recommend it to more and more and more people. And that really helps us because as you can see and hear, we are committed. We are committed to providing you with content that is valuable to your life that you can put into practice. Okay. This is a judgment free zone. And if you have any questions, if you want to reach out to our socials, on Instagram at Gladzu, GLADZU. So we are going to be posting stories about the topics that we decide to move forward with. Would love. And we didn't get any questions this for this first one, but I think it was great because we had so many topics to go through. So that was great. But yes, we accept topic suggestions, questions, comments, and don't forget, don't forget. Go ahead and tell the truth out there. Dalma and Glass believe in you.
Please don't tell me the truth.